I don't think most women can actually genuinely understand how lonely the majority of men are.
Yeah.
And you need to truly understand, if you're Joe Schmo, average in nearly every way, in Starbucks working, you ain't getting a DM ever. You girls will never be lonely. As much as you might be unhappy with the possible suitors, you can at least fuck about and flirt if you feel sad. There are men out here in the world who have genuine loneliness. And I can prove this statistically. Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to the women?
Also, the most extreme cases of depression are men too. You know, there's in Japan, there's a saying for men like hikikomori. You know, those are the men, they live until they're 40 and 50 years old. They basically shut themselves in a small cubicle room and they just live there. They never go outside. If they do go outside, they go out at night and they live in a small cubicle room, and they're 40 and 50 years old. They don't interact with anyone. All they do is they're on the computers. And you see in a documentary where the room is just full of trash and it's just disgusting, and oftentimes they die, and because they live alone, they don't have no contact with anyone, no friends, no family. They don't find their body until they died months after months, once the neighbors start smelling the body next to it.
Every year, an estimated 30,000 reclusive people die alone in Japan. They're not suicides, but solitary, silent ends. This room was once home to a 68-year-old man. Neighbours alerted the authorities after noticing the smell, 2 months after his death.
And those people are all men. It's men, the most depressed people, the people who are always the loneliest, the people who commit the most suicide. It's always men. And you can feel lonely even though you have companies of people like friends and family, because loneliness has to do with the perception of how much company you have. Now, it's just possible, it is possible to be painfully lonely surrounded by people as it is to, to have no people at all. You see this with celebrities, people always have so much money, so many things. I think there was a song by Justin Bieber, Lonely. Person has everything, money and friends, but you don't really feel like you have friends because you are surrounded by fake people.
I'm so lonely.
So it doesn't matter how many friends and family you have. If you don't feel like you belong in that community, and if you don't belong in that friend group, if you don't belong in that family, you also feel lonely. We are humans. We are social creatures, right? We're evolved to grow up in this community, a tribe of 100 or 200 people. We always need to be surrounded by people. Go hunt and go gather. You have few friends in there. We're social creatures. We're designed and evolved this way. So being lonely, being stuck in this room with this phone and this internet, this is not ingrained within us. We're not evolved to be alone for long periods of time. So it just feels so unnatural to us. So it makes us feel depressed and sad. Being alone is an advantage compared to other people who have family needs, compared to people who have relationships, compared to who have a lot of different friends, because they don't have time to improve themselves. They don't have time to work on their creativity, to work on something that is important to them. Right? In the book that is called The Lonely City, Adventures in the Art of Being Alone, the author Olivia talks about stories of a number of amazing artists who led themselves into isolation because they find a meaning in their work, and they have produced the most amazing works in New York. One of my favorite things to do when I was in early high school, where I was in this new environment, I couldn't speak English and I wanted to learn how to speak English. And that was the first time I moved to America, and I started to reading a lot of biographies. That's what I love to do. I remember reading Elon Musk's biography at that time, Steve Jobs' biography, Benjamin Franklin's. I also love sports figures. Kobe Bryant was my idol. Michael Jordan was my idol. You can probably see a few there. Those amazing individuals that I read the biographies of always had one similarity in the beginning of their career. They're alone all the time. They spend their time improving themselves. If it was Kobe Bryant, they'll play basketball all the time. If it was Michael Jordan, they improve their basketball game. For Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, those are the people, they try to improve their mind.
My name is Kobe Bryant. I'm 17 years old. I wasn't invited to parties or friendly gatherings on the weekend. So on Fridays and Saturdays, I would go in my rec room with my basketball and basically dribble myself to sleep. And I think that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because during those lonely hours in the rec room, I discovered the hunger, the motivation, and the desire to be the best possible basketball player that I could be.
Whatever craft they were interested in, they would spend that lonely time to improve that. Now, once you had an amazing skill and you spend a lot of time investing, your lone time investing into that craft, you become really good, and then you can start attracting attention to yourself. Also, you can monetize that skill and make money out of it. Once you realize that loneliness is your opportunity to improve yourself, this is almost becomes a superpower, because now you're content with being alone. You're not depending on anyone else. You're not depending on some girl or some boy to come and save you from your loneliness. You're not depending on family and friends to make you happy. No, you can make yourself happy and you're content with it. So your happiness is not dependent on anyone else, anything external. You're happy being by yourself.
I'm starting to learn that being broken and alone is sometimes the best place to be. Because what happens is you start to realize that you really aren't alone. You're just not dependent on the person you were supposed to be dependent on this whole time. See, I've been depending on people. I've been depending on things.
But if you spend that lone time not improving yourself, well, now you're gonna be stuck in this sorry state for the rest of your life. And this is the reality. This is the harsh reality. You have to spend this time to improve yourself. If you don't do that, you're gonna be spending this loneliness, the sad reality for the rest of your life, like that Japanese hikikomori lifestyle.
I'm afraid of the world. Even a phone call or an email stress me out.
A form of depression or other mental health problem, a social phobia, or an act of rebellion. Whatever the diagnosis, hikikomori people are united by an inability to comply with Japan's strict rules of social interaction. On the other side of the room, Yusuke's mother's preparing a meal for him. Most hikikomori depend on their parents to survive. The parents are ashamed of their children.
He's not interested in anything. I've tried to get him interested in things, but he doesn't want to go out. It's making me depressed too.
The world's cold as a motherfucker. Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
This is so true, and you can only be able to become a man that can provide something, and you can only be able to become a man that is valuable by spending your lone time investing in yourself physically and mentally, and improving whatever craft that you are interested in. Maybe it's drawing, writing, anything that you're interested in. So the reason that we are lonely is because we're at the bottom of the food chain of men, right? So in order to rise up, you need to improve yourself, and you spend that lone time improving yourself. So be okay with being alone, because this lone time is for you to invest in yourself. This is your time to improve yourself and go climb up that food chain by being disciplined. Go outside in the sun, take a walk, start getting your sleep in order, have the discipline to go hit the gym, lift weights, like all those cheesy things, the motivation things. Everyone knows it. We all know what we're supposed to do, but sometimes we just don't have the discipline and willpower to go up and do it, right? But oftentimes those are excuses, and if you feel lonely and depressed, this is a good time for you to invest yourself. This is an amazing opportunity to improve yourself and become a valuable man in the future. Please understand that I'm not speaking because I'm better than all of you guys. No, we're in the same train. I am on this journey of improving myself. I am in this journey of being lonely, but I enjoy being lonely because I'm improving myself every single day, step by step, 1%. And I'm not better than almost anyone that is watching this. I'm in the same train as you guys, and I just want to be honest as possible. If you spend your time doing nothing but just surfing on the internet, you're gonna live this sorry ass life for the rest of your life. So you better get your freaking life in order, and I'm in that process of doing that, and hopefully people that is watching this can find a comfort in this, that millions and millions of people are on the same train as you. And in reality, most of the guys, people are probably gonna stay in that same situation, and be few people that do watch this can take a little bit of inspiration, right? Just a little bit, and then take it one step forward just today by watching this video. One step improvement for whatever goal you have, just becoming that valuable person physically and mentally. And I also take inspiration from talking to this. I also understand more about how my brain works. I also take more inspiration by creating these videos, you know. And I just want to say that I'm not no better than anyone that is watching this or feel bad in a certain kind of situation. I'm in the same train, and I just want to be honest, and I just want to keep improving myself, just like anyone else that might watch this video.